Damn, son.
Shit's red as fuck, dude. Marco, we are live, brother. Saw something big today. Pochettino staying till 2030. Big news for the United States of America. A lot of transfers. We've seen some Americans go overseas to one club in particular, right? Which is very exciting for the United States. Little MLS roundup, little recap. San Jose Earthquakes losing yet another game. I think I may have cursed them, but we'll get into all that. My name is Antonio. This is Project 90, a soccer podcast, and I'm here with, as always, every single time, Sac Republic jersey, hat on forward today, Marco Antonio Munoz. Shout out to the Oakland Raider hat. Marco Munoz, how you doing?
Brother, the disrespect. The Oakland Raiders, they're the Las Vegas Raiders now. What is going on, Anthem?
I only know them as the Oakland Raiders.
You know what?
Bay Area.
You know what? They're always going to be the Oakland Raiders for me. Sad. We won't touch on this. Sad that they're no longer in Oakland. But what I do want to touch on is like, bro, what the F happened to your face?
Bro,
what is going on?
Listen, man, it's far more obvious on camera now that I see it. Dude, it hurts so bad. Having this hat on hurts so fucking bad. I was in the sun all weekend playing a soccer tournament, which I'm a little embarrassed to say. We lost in the semis. Not that we lost, but we lost to a team called fucking, what was it? The Baby Scorpions, I think it was. I mean, I should kick my own ass. We lost to the Baby Scorpions, Marco.
You lost to TBS.
Dude, but you know what, man? I got a sunburn all because of it. Put on some sunscreen, but I didn't realize every time I wet my head, dude, I was just wiping it off. I was literally setting myself up for absolute disaster. After Saturday, it hurt so bad. Sunday morning, it was like, whatever happens, happens. Now look at this.
Look, man, the good thing is you have an indoor game this week, and it's going to be indoors, so you don't got to worry about the sun. It's going to be an evening game. And you'll be good. No sunscreen needed. And yeah, shout out to Sac Republic. USL smacked Luxembourg 5-0. It was 4-0 in the first half.
Damn.
One of the best games I've ever been to. But without further ado, comenzamos. Let's get going with what's going on as of late in football, soccer. Anto, what you got for us?
Look, man. Just heard this today, actually. Today, I saw it. Mauricio Pochettino for the United States of America signing through 2030, the next World Cup cycle. This was a big what if. Is he going to do it? And he did it, right? They got the Gold Cup. I think they're in the Copa America again. They're doing that. Then they got, obviously, the World Cup. What do you think this means for the United States? How would you say this? You know, they could have went and found a different manager, but ultimately, I think this was the right move. What do you think?
And going back to last World Cup, right? They saw a lot of positives with Berhalter, right? And they wanted to keep it going past World Cup. And like it always happens, right? If stuff's not paying out that following year, then decisions are made. But I think it's ultimately the right call with Pochettino staying with U.S., right? I know going into the World Cup, there was talks about AC Milan and other European teams. And rightfully so, right? This guy was not going to have a contract after the World Cup. Mm-hmm. So he needs to look out for himself and his family and, take some meetings in what interests are out there. So, but ultimately, I think this is the right one. There's a lot of positives from the way the team played that, to me, outweigh some of the negatives. Yes, there's a little bit of drama. Yes, things didn't go out the way they wanted to in the knockout stages, where we expected a bit more. But ultimately, I think this is the right move going into the next tournaments and potentially into 2030.
Yeah, I think the thought behind the federation sort of pushing for him to stay, and I think him actually making the decision to want to stay as well, because we do know he was talking to AC Milan. That was a big story before the World Cup. But I think their whole idea was just what he was able to do with the team, the players he brought in, sort of the locker room he created with these players. I feel like the vibes were really high with the team. There didn't seem to be any, like with Berhalter, there was a lot of drama with the whole Gio Reyna and all. It's kind of, some heads were butting in camp and in the federation as well. And I think Pochettino came in. He just said, let's forget all that, start from scratch, pulled in these players, brought in a lot of new players as well. Obviously, he was given a team that already had experience, right? They played a lot of their first World Cups the last time around, so that made a huge difference for him. But I think ultimately he's building something good, and I think another 4 years is absolutely justified. And it's it's overseas this time. It's not going to be at home, but I think the best man for the job with this current generation of players who are all in their prime at this point, I think he is probably the best guy they're going to get, number one, but also the right man for the job based on his own resume that he's had. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, who's out there? Like, who can you say from the MLS that they would want to give this job to?
Yeah, it's tough.
Who are the candidates out there available that they have that the federation had talks with? Not a whole lot. Even Pochettino, he took the job. That came out of left field,
Yeah,
right? You have a guy that's continuously in with the top teams in Europe, and some I'm just saying some may look at him taking this job or the job of the U.S. Men's national team prior to this World Cup as kind of like a step down from being with those top European clubs, PSG,
yeah.
and these other
Tottenham, he's at
clubs.
Tottenham, and we forget
Tottenham,
sometimes
yeah.
he took them to the Champions League final. He was their
Yeah.
manager when Tottenham made it to the final. And so you start to really do the research on him, and you realize like he's really coached some big time players, big time clubs, and first international job here where he's really kind of putting together a team. It's not the best national team, it's not the worst. So I think it's a project that he sort of enjoys actually. I think he enjoys the whole entire federation. I think this World Cup kind of helped the United States grow into him a little bit. So I'm glad. I'm just glad that they sort of settled in with him and they're just going forward with the same guy.
As long as they give him the support and if the federation is literally going to back him up and in
Yeah.
everything that's going on, it should be a good relationship. And but relationships aside, the results need to come in. So hopefully for good results. I'm always rooting for Mexico on my end, but I also love seeing those competitive matches and rivalry matches with Mexico and US. When those two are at the top of the CONCACAF, means right that the CONCACAF is doing is I'm gonna just say this is just the way I believe is doing well, right? Because those are ultimately the two top CONCACAF teams that should be 1 and 2 at all times. With Canada coming in and out, right? But with what they got going on in their leagues, with the players that they have overseas, with the strong players they have domestically, there's no reason why these two nations shouldn't be 1 and 2 at all times.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And also, Mexico obviously getting Marquez now. So I'm sure coming up now and all these next rounds of games start for these international teams is going to be another topic we bring up. But it's exciting, dude. I agree, though. CONCACAF, those are the teams. If they're not up there on the top, it's not looking good for CONCACAF, in my opinion. Moving on, though, Marco, look, there's been a lot of transfers, and I think something kind of exciting, moving on from the United States here is seeing these United States players making all these moves, right? Particularly from MLS to Europe. And we went and saw the Earthquakes versus Vancouver, right? And we saw Sebastian Berhalter play. And one of the first things we brought up was, I can't see him staying much longer in the MLS. I see a European club coming his way. And what did we see this past week? He's already made his debut, signed for Middlesbrough, right? Big move for him. He's obviously went from the MLS to the championship. It's not the Premier League, but honestly, man, everyone knows the championship is no, it's competitive as you can get. Along with him, though, Max Arfsten, the left back, right back, he's an outside back. Actually, shout out UC Davis, right? Went to UC Davis for college. So it's one of those rare players these days that sort of came through the college system, right? Which we're not seeing necessarily as much, and it's not being valued as much. But to see a player come through, club soccer, academy soccer into college, now making a move over to Europe, it's kind of a big deal. So now we have 3 Americans over there at Middlesbrough. What did you think of the move for both of those guys?
Solid move. I know I mentioned in the last pod, solid move for Berhalter. The championship is competitive as it gets. Um, and for Armstead, same solid move. You want these guys to go get that experience overseas to understand the physicality of how these European clubs are. Unfortunately, and I always take it back to Liga MX. We had a player, Marcel Ruiz, for Toluca.
Uh
He
huh.
had he had the opportunity last year or a year and a half ago to go to the championship, and he saw it kind of as like a step down from where he was at. I don't know if it was financially or ultimately he was looking for better options. And what ended up happening, he ends up staying domestically and he gets injured and he missed out on the World Cup, right? So I don't frown upon going into the championship. It's competitive, even if you got to go to the second division in La Liga, bro. Because like I mentioned last pod, a lot of these clubs are up and down. So you're potentially playing with guys who are like in the first division just the previous season. So I don't know. All I see is nothing but positives, no red flags on my end, and hopefully these three Americans get a lot of playing time. And Pochettino, going back to the national team, have somebody who they can count on that are playing overseas. And hopefully get Middlesbrough playing for the top of the table.
Yeah, man. So it's a big move. Obviously, championships is a high paying league. They got some big contracts going over there. And I don't think it's much of an argument to say the championship's a little more competitive than the MLS. You know, everybody in the championship is fighting to be in the Premier League. So, I mean, if you want to talk about competition, I mean, the championship's where it's at in terms of second divisions. But yeah,
And
for in terms,
real quick, and you also get to play like the FA Cup and all these
Mhm.
other tournaments throughout the year,
Yeah,
to where we've seen it like championship, the lower tiers often beat these Premier League players, and yes, they're playing with like the B squad, right? But at the end of the day, they're still playing against these top clubs and have had opportunities to beat them and beat them, right? So, like I said, nothing but positives. I like these moves, and hopefully we see more going over.
I agree, man. We'll see how it sort of plays out for the United States. Speaking of transfers, though, there's a lot of rumors. Christian Pulisic, he's obviously with Milan. They say he's not going anywhere. He's been linked to New York City FC, which
Mhm.
should kind of be, it sounds harsh to say a downgrade, but at this point in his career, I would see it as a downgrade, leaving Champions League, leaving the Serie A, leaving all these bigger sort of environments where you're playing with players that are just going to elevate your game and challenge you every single day. There's really nothing set in stone there. That's something sort of we've just been hearing rumors about. But a big team that's been making a lot of moves this year, got a new coach, a lot of new players, big name players, is Real Madrid, right? They brought in Jose Mourinho. First thing they did, they brought in Bernardo Silva. They got Konate from France, Cucurella. So they're really, in my opinion, just taking a squad that's already good and just really fine tuning it to just create a super squad. And if anyone's going to have the freedom to do that, especially with Real Madrid, Florentino Perez, I think he's going to give it to a guy like Jose Mourinho. Obviously, he's been there, but yeah, man, what do you think of those moves? How do you see Real Madrid sort of competing this next season? Obviously, their attack's already stacked, right? They got a stacked squad, so I mean, it's kind of crazy.
I want to touch on the Pulisic thing real quick.
Go ahead.
Anto, if he has another bad year in terms of remotely close to what he had this year,
Yep.
is it safe to say we do see him in the MLS the following season?
I think so. Within the next year or two, probably, because especially with the
Within the
hype.
next year?
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
Because all the mental stuff he was going through, right, and bled into the World Cup, and ultimately, I'm not his friend. I don't talk to him. I don't know the people around him, but
You don't
he
have the
wasn't
number? You
he
serious?
was he wasn't 100%, right? So who's to say that he's like Sargent and says, you know what, this overseas stuff is, just not for me anymore. I want to be closer to home. I want to be able to see my family. And he makes a move and comes back to the MLS, and like Dempsey and Sargent get paid boku bucks,
Yeah.
still getting paid that guap,
Right.
and he's here domestically. It'll
Yeah.
be unfortunate to see, but this guy has only been at the top clubs, right? Milan
Mhm.
isn't top right now, but it's still a big name
Yeah.
on your resume. I mean, he was Champions League winner with Chelsea. He was at Borussia, right? So where does he go from here? Does he do a lateral move, go to another Serie A team? Does
Uh-huh.
he go back to Germany? I mean, I don't see him going to the Dutch league. So it all makes sense to me that if he has another off year, he's coming to the MLS.
I think you're right, man. I really do because, ultimately he's going to get a bag, right? They're going to pay him. He's going to get a big contract. And because, he is this Captain America, he's the biggest player in the United States, the biggest player in history thus far, you can say, the way they hype him up. I don't think his position in the men's national team is going to be compromised at all if he comes here. I think he's still going to be called up. I think for Pulisic, it's probably more of he's been overseas since he's like 14. You know what I mean? And he's maybe not playing as much. He's maybe not performing as well as he wanted. Maybe he's getting tired of the European life, like you said. So to be able to come here, I think, to a place like New York, get guaranteed playing time essentially, right? As long as he's healthy and fit. Still be called into the United States camp. Still be that number 10 for the United States. I mean, it's kind of a win-win for him essentially, right? You're dropping down a level in terms of league, in terms of competition, but ultimately it's a good challenge still. He'll get his playing time, he'll get to play, he'll be home, like you said, you know. So it all comes down to, I think, his mentality, like you said, and also this upcoming season, because Milan's not one of those clubs that says, hey, we didn't win the league last year or we didn't do well in Champions League, so we're okay with doing that again this year. It's like, no, the standard over there at a club like Juve, Inter, Milan, all these teams is literally to win the Serie A every single year. Like that's their goal. So
Mm-hmm.
the pressure's there. So if he can't handle the pressure or he doesn't perform, it's most likely going to be, yeah, we don't want you anymore. Like we're going to sell you because we need to figure something else out. Or it's just going to be him saying, hey, I had another bad year. I'm not doing too hot over here. I'm not enjoying it. I want to come back to the United States. So it's going to be one of those, I think, for sure.
And the narrative is he makes all the decisions, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a lot of people in his ear who are guiding him or giving him advice outside of his family. I think the type of player he is, sometimes you have to have that counsel outside. Is like, no, dude, this is a bad move. Like, we need to continue to stay out here or whatever the case may be, and ultimately kind of put him in check a little bit because the way things are going right now, yeah, buddy, he's going to be in the MLS soon. Uh,
I see it though, dude. That's bad. It's backwards. You see these people going overseas now. They're starting to like gain traction, and he's coming back, and he's like the last player you would have thought, seeing him with all these big ass clubs. So,
Hopefully, we're
I
wrong. Hopefully, we're wrong.
hopefully
I
we're
just
wrong.
wanted
Look,
to. I just
yeah,
wanted to throw it out there.
I know I love that because I want to see them win. I want to see the United States get better. That's all we've ever seen, to be honest, over these last years. The quality of player, where they're playing. So I really hope he turns it around and just for his own sake, as an individual, as a player, I just want him to thrive, dude. You know, you want to have the best career you can have.
I mean,
Uh,
when he was balling, and we can close it out on this. When he
yeah,
was balling his ass off, Anto, he was like the best player in the Serie A, week
he
to week.
was. No, he absolutely was the best player in the Serie A, best player for Milan by a long shot. You know what I mean? But that goes with any club he's been at. I've seen him at Dortmund. I've seen at Chelsea when he had his moments of like a string of matches where he was on fire. He was by far, like without a doubt, their best player at the time. So if he could just find that form and keep it, you know, the thing is now though is these injuries he keeps running into, these
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
knocks, whatever it is, it's probably hitting his confidence. Who knows? It's hard. It's a lot of pressure at that level. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And to touch on the Real Madrid with the
Yeah,
special one, I don't know, man. I They can get everyone and anyone that they want, right? They have the money at their disposal, but Barcelona is a problem. You know,
yeah,
they're always going to be a problem. They haven't stopped being a problem for years. Atletico's still a problem when they want to be, right? And when they don't, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot.
yeah,
And then you got these other clubs. It seems like every year there's a different club that's fighting for third place.
yeah,
So, oh no, man, the second coming of the special one. Hopefully, all the moves pan out. Cucurella, right? One of the best moves they could have made.
yeah,
Uh, but we'll see. It's going to be a long season. I was listening to some interviews with Jose Mourinho, and he was like, "Man, I want my guys to get eliminated in the World Cup because I want them to come back and start training."
yeah.
Right, so it tells you how serious he's looking at things already, and he was also being hyperbole. But oh no, long season. Hopefully, they get things rolling, and we'll see because it's like I said, a long gas season, baby.
It is a lot can happen, and we've seen clubs do this before. PSG in the past, Real Madrid in the past, where they spend the big money, they try to make that super team, you can say, and then it just does not. They literally don't win anything of significance, in particular the Champions League, right? But you know, a guy like Mourinho, I think I think he kind of knows more or less what to do, right? He's not just spending money or picking players just because they have a big name or whatever. I think he looks at it as, will this fit what I'm trying to do, the pieces I'm trying to put together? So yeah, it's interesting, man. Barcelona is always a problem. I think La Liga this year is going to be cracking. I think the Clásicos are going to be cracking, right? A
And
lot of
there will be no secret with Mourinho when he doesn't want a player.
oh,
A lot of
absolutely.
teams keep him behind the scenes. Nah,
Mm-hmm.
this guy's going to go and have a press conference. Blah, yeah, I don't want this guy. We're already looking for replacements. So that can also have the dressing room at odds, right? Or
Yeah.
walking on eggshells. But that's just the type of guy he is. That's the way he's been everywhere. Like I mentioned, he wants to feel valued and respected as a manager. You should respect your manager, but it's he's going to lead a lot of the biggest egos in the world, right? We saw the debacle that happened with Xavi and Mbappe and the squad and Vini. There was no respect there, so Jose is really going to have to get that dressing room unlocked because you can have all the best players that you want in the world, but if your dressing room is broken, there are going to be individuals put out there and only looking out for them.
Yeah, and the reputation he's already created with all these younger players, having seen him in the past, I think they already know that Mourinho doesn't fuck around, right? He doesn't play no shit, like he'll bench your ass. So I think for Real Madrid, it's looking real good for this upcoming season, the upcoming couple years, right? Also, I wanted to bring up Chelsea's making some moves, right? I saw kind of wild Jordan Henderson, pretty random pickup for Chelsea. I think they're going for a little experience. They picked up Danny Welbeck, which was just out of
I
left
like
field.
it. I like
Yeah,
it. I
that's a
like
cool
it.
one. I thought that was cool. Morgan Rogers, right, who just played in the World Cup. And then another real interesting move that I saw, which I think is going to really kind of show to the world, especially Portugal, why it's gonna make them even more upset. Is Gonzalo Ramos went to Atletico Madrid, and I think Simeone is going to absolutely use him,
Yeah.
right? And I think he's gonna just absolutely destroy La Liga this year. To me, that's one of the most exciting moves because he's one of those players that you want to see play all the time, but it's just like they never let him play. And
Hmm.
I don't understand why they just don't play the guy, right? It's especially after this last World Cup, it's so obvious. He came on, scored, still didn't play the next game, and it's just
Wait, 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 wait. What happened with AC Milan?
what do you mean with AC Milan? He left. No, he was on loan, dude. He was owned by PSG.
Wait, I'm drawing a blank. Didn't he sign for the AC Milan?
No, I don't think he did. He was going to. I believe that was a rumor. Let me
Maybe I'm
see some.
wrong. Maybe I didn't take my vitamins today, but he signed during the World Cup and there was like a photo and everything with Ruben Amorim, everything.
Let me see here, because I saw something where he signed for Atletico. Let me see. I think actually I'm the one who told you he signed for Milan during the World Cup. Actually,
Yeah, that's what I'm like. What? Wait. What's going on?
instead he signed for AC Milan for 75 million.
Yeah, 75 M's. Yeah. I think
Oh
that
my
sunburn that
god.
sunburn played a number on you because we talked about it. We,
Oh
we
my
talked about it,
god.
bro. It's like 75 M's for him. It's
Bro,
crazy.
I don't know what the fuck I'm smoking. But dude, regardless, Madrid, Milan's another one where this guy's gonna play, dude. Ruben Amorim's the coach. Oh, that's exciting, dude, because I love watching that.
Portugal coach got his Portugal forward. But I think
Oh,
we're forgetting about one of the biggest transfers that just happened
hit it.
before we close out the pod.
Yeah.
Vozihna finally made it and
Colo
is doing his
Colo.
medicals with Colo Colo.
Yes,
And boy
sir.
did they receive him at the airport.
Yeah, I saw that. That's fucking another party waiting to happen right there. 40 years old, bro. Signing with a first team in Chile. The guy's career is far from over. He's gaining followers by the minute still. This guy's an international superstar. I mean, it's crazy.
And word around the street is if you're a lovely lady, he'll follow you back. But if you're a gentleman, he
That's
will
a
not.
fact. That's a fact. You know, I saw that. If you go through his followers, you're just gonna see chicks. A lot of hot chicks everywhere. And you know, man, good for him, dude. Play your whole career, really gain no traction until 40. That's dedication to the game, right? That's loving the game, Marco. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to follow that. I'm sure we're not even going to have to look for much. It's going to be all over social media.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that, bro. And I wanted to touch real quick. I watched the Earthquakes game. I know you were at the Republic game. Earthquakes lost 4-2. And when we were going over the MLS All-Star game, there's one player in particular you kept bringing up, and you mentioned and that was Evander from Cincinnati. And boy, did he absolutely just score an absolute banger on the Earthquakes. God, dude. And it just helps. It makes me to think, like, in 3 weeks' time, Nico Shakiris comes back. They're number 10 for Earthquakes. But he's really the only guy that's not in the mix right now. So it's not looking good for San Jose, dude. Angus Gunn blows. I just don't,
He
I don't,
does.
ever
He
since he
does.
came in, I'm blaming myself because I went to the game and now they're losing. But I think it's Angus Gunn, dude. I
Yeah.
think it's Angus Gunn. And Preston Judd's falling off. He was on a scoring streak. Bo LaRue's not doing too hot. I don't know, man. It's disappointing. It's disappointing to see, but ultimately outclassed by Cincinnati.
They were
Um,
definitely outclassed. Evander, man, he was just having fun out there, man. Everything was going through him. The passes he was making, the through passes he was making,
yeah,
and oh my God, that banger of a goal outside of the 18. This
yeah,
guy's a stud. And for the
hmm
Earthquakes, Anton, we were talking about it. I think they're in trouble. They're gonna have to scrape each freaking game because when they are up on the score sheet, they can't keep the momentum going.
right,
Immediately they get scored on. I
yeah.
just don't understand. I was watching the game and I was like, "What is going on here?" So I think they're going to have a tough time bouncing back. That break during the World Cup didn't
Threw
do
him
them
off.
well. Yeah, any momentum they had going into that break is immediately gone, and potentially Bruce Arena is going to be in the hot seat the next coming games if he doesn't get his shit together and the team doesn't start getting some points because it is not looking good for the Earthquakes.
No, it is not, bro. It's sad to see because we thought they were on to something, right? Although there's still time. There's still time. This is just what we've seen the past 2 weeks here. So we'll see, man. Bruce Reigns experienced. We'll see what he can do with the team. Notable mention, real quick, before we close out. We saw Lewandowski, Chicago, 2-1, put up 2 goals, first 2 goals in the MLS. Still haven't seen him play. I'm excited to watch Chicago play. And then the Whitecaps played LA. Thomas Mueller versus Hyun Min Sun, right? Whatever you said the other
Yeah,
day.
I
Sun
got it
Min
wrong. I
Hyun.
got it wrong.
Uh, but yeah, both of them getting on the score sheet, right? So you bring in the big names, you get the big goals.
That's what we
T-
want.
Timo Werner's still waiting to do that, I think. But hey, man, that's MLS. Little wrap up. We're gonna keep following the Earthquakes.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, throw it in there.
Messi came back
Yeah, he did come back. Casemiro also made his debut
with an
recently
own goal.
with an own goal. So exciting stuff coming out in Miami. Luis Suarez is on fire. The guy who could barely
Yeah,
run. He's got like 7 goals or some shit in like 4 games. Every time it looks like this guy needs to just get the wheelchair out, he just starts banging in goals again. So
he's
I
like
don't know.
he's
I don't know.
he's excited because he saw nothing with his country in the World Cup. So
Fired him up.
he's gonna show them that he needs to be called up for the next World Cup.
He does, dude.
And we want to see
Freaking
him bite
nasty.
somebody. I want to see him bite somebody again.
Dude, the guy's a vampire, man. What a legend, dude. The handball against Ghana that one year. Okay, dude. It's just a lot. Just a lot, dude. But look, another episode, Project 90. Wanted to go over just quickly some transfers we've been hearing. Pochettino extending his contract, a little MLS news. Got another round of games coming up. I thought it was nice to touch on that. But that's it, man. This has been Project 90, project90soccer.com. Head over to our website. You can find the links to all of our socials, streaming platforms. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, fact check me like Marco did earlier with that transfer of Gonzalo Ramos. Been smoking a lot of something. I have no idea. The sun baked my brain this weekend, but it's all good. Marco, any last word before we sign off?
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be sending you a link for a good sunscreen. Other than
Yeah,
that,
dude.
we're out.
We're out. Peace.